Sinbad's Adventures. A long, long time ago, there lived a young man called Sinbad in a town in Baghdad. Sinbad adventured across seas around the world on a ship. Sinbad left his country to head to a far country, India, with his friends. What kind of adventure was waiting for them in the end of the deep blue ocean? It had been 5 days since they left the town in Baghdad. Then they saw a small island in the distant beyond horizon. It's been a long time since we last stepped on Earth. Well, let's land there. After stopping the ship off the coast, Sinbad and his friends landed on the island with a small boat. They collected firewood and then set fire. As soon as the firewood caught fire, the entire island shook. Be careful! Everyone, hold on to something! What had happened? The shaking got bigger and bigger. Then suddenly, one of Sinbad's friends screamed out loud. Hey! It's a whale! This isn't an island. We have landed on the back of a whale. They all panicked and quickly tried to get away. However, they could barely just hold on to their back to not to be thrown off. Then, the whale swallowed the ship that Sinbad and his friends sailed on and dived into the ocean. Everyone was thrown out into the ocean. When Sinbad became conscious, he was floating in the sea, gripping onto a wooden keg. He looked around, however, he couldn't see any of his friends. It seemed as though he was the only one who was saved. Sinbad drifted about the waves with the wooden keg for 3 nights. On the morning of 4th day, he discovered an island in the distance. He squeezed out the last bit of energy he had and paddled with his hands, aiming to get to the island. When Sinbad managed to land on the island, the first thing he did was to climb a tall tree. He observed the island from the tree. More than half of the island was covered with trees. What is that? He looked closely, then spotted a big, white, roof-like object on the top of the tree in a forest. Maybe there is someone there. Sinbad decided to enter the forest. When he got to the place, there was a very big egg of a bird. This is a rock bird's egg, but I haven't seen such an enormous egg before. I wonder how big the parent bird would be. Sinbad was studying the egg. Then, suddenly, the sky got very dark. What? It's strange. It's still daytime. He looked up. Then he gasped deeply. There was a huge rock bird descending from the sky. Sinbad quickly hid under the egg. As the rock bird sat on the egg, he closed his wings and started warming the egg up. The bird is so big that I could imagine myself flying the sky on its back. Oh, I know. Sinbad took off the turban that he had wrapped around his head. After a while, the rockbird prepared to fly off the nest again to search for food. Sinbad had his unrolled turban tied around his body and had another end hooked onto the bird's leg. This was how he fled the island, using the bird's help. The bird continued to fly for a while, then eventually landed on another island. Sinbad landed on the island by cutting the turban right before the bird had landed. Sinbad looked around the surroundings. It seemed like he was in the bottom of a deep valley. As he was walking, he noticed that there were sparkling stones near his feet. These are diamonds. I can see them here and there. Right, this must be a diamond valley. Sinbad picked up diamonds and stuffed them into his pocket. It's good that I found these diamonds, but I need to get out of here. Otherwise, these diamonds have no value. I have to figure out a way to get out from here. Eek! What is this? Suddenly, a huge piece of meat fell right in front of him from the sky. Then, the rockbird appeared again, chasing after the meat. The bird grabbed the meat using his sharp claws and flew up into the sky. However, as soon as the rockbird escaped the deep valley, a few men appeared on top of the valley and threw rocks at the bird. The rockbird was shocked and dropped the meat, then flew away. What are the men doing? Oh, I see. The men were using the bird to get the diamond that was stuck under the meat. If I could utilize this, I might be able to get out of this valley. After a while, the meat was thrown into the valley again. Sinbad, who was hiding behind the rocks, quickly dived under the meat and attached himself to the meat using the turban. He waited there still and quietly. Then he heard the rockbird. The next moment, his body left the ground. Yes, it worked as I planned. He successfully escaped from the bottom of the valley. Sinbad shared his diamonds to the men on top of the valley and asked them to prepare a ship for him to travel back to Baghdad. After 10 days sailing on the ship, Sinbad finally got back to his home, Baghdad. This is the end of this story. However, his adventure and journey will continue on. What kind of adventure is awaiting for Sinbad in his next exploration?